ASI, formerly known as Fetch. We're going to look at an update here. We're going to start off on the daily chart, then we're going to zoom out to the weekly macro scale. So let's get right to it. We're at the 200 EMA right now. That's the starting point to know if you're bearish or bullish on any given chart for any given coin. If you're below that, you're bearish by definition. And, if you're chopping around that, you're not going to be able to get anything going. And that is likely why, Fetch ASI has not been able to put any fantastic moves in like it did earlier in the year. Okay, so the good things start to happen, in my opinion, when we get closer to $2. Take out this high again. You can see our 618 fib, right? Previous kind of support swing lows turned into resistance back here. We'll get into all this in just a moment. When we get it to the weekly scale, that'll be much more clear. For now, we have an established low from September here at just above $1. We just put in a higher low last week. That needs to be our new swing low, and we can put that as a zone and a cautionary zone. If we go back below that, we're back to square one, trying to spin our wheels to gain some traction. We're doing what we need to do right now, but we need to maintain where we're at, build off of this, and start to stair step again, like we did back here. We need like a copy paste of this, right? Put in a low, a new high, higher low, higher high. Then, we were not quite ready for that just yet. So we've now went right back down the mountain, and we're trying to build back up again. So patience here. Okay, now let's get to the major macro scale as we zoom out here. So our Fibonacci extension. We looked at our Bitcoin one yesterday. So go check that video out if you want to see why I think Bitcoin's not going to go quite as high as a lot of people think. So ASI, Fetch. How high could we go this cycle? Well, the 1618 on this, summer high of March to our, August lows, the 1618 is at 938. What about the 2618? 46. Is that out of the question? It's starting to maybe seem that way, and we'll explain why in just a moment. But do I think we can hit here? Sure, of course. I would be shocked if we don't get at least close to it, and I think we could still go quite a bit above it. So we'll get to that again as we look at the weekly scale. So let's go there right now. So we'll zoom out near weekly chart, and we're also going to look at some indicators here. So from our bear market swing highs, really September, right at the end of the last cycle, 2021, to our bear market lows, right, that fib extension on the 1618 is 830. So we can start to paint a picture here that maybe this isn't the top, but it might be close. It might be in our best interest to at least start thinking about locking in profit when we get up into this area, because our swing high summer bubble to low and our macro last cycle high to bear market lows are coincidentally around, this is a dollar zone here. So 830 to 930 roughly is both in agreement. So I would think you need to be paying attention soon if we get up there. Now, you're like, maybe that's not enough, right? Is that all it's got? Well, look at where we are now. Roughly where we have to the 830 mark, we have a 6x, 6 to 7x from current prices. That might not be what you want, and we could go higher for sure, but let's take a look at what I like to look at is from the macro lows. Right, rough move here. We're looking at already a 6,700% move from low to high, from the March high. Currently, we're up 2,400%. What would it be if we go all the way up to the 1618, 830 range? That's a 15,000% move. Now, many coins did that last cycle. Okay, so I don't argue that we could do that for sure, right? Matic last cycle was Polygon, right? One of the top performers. It did just over 20,000%. One of the top performers. So 18,000% gets us to the 1618 on the shorter, more recency bias move. 20,000, 21,000 still gets us above 10. That gets us to 1150 if we kind of rhyme with what Matic did last cycle. But anything beyond the realm of that, not that it's impossible, but it becomes increasingly more unlikely. To get to the 2618 is a 90,000% move. This is almost a 1,000x, folks. Not that it's can't be done. It's statistically less likely. Let's put it that way. Okay. A 1000x is, not quite, just above $50. Anybody trying to sell you more than that, trying to sell ice to an Eskimo, right? Like, starts to get a little unicorn zone up in that area. Honestly, anything much above the $12, $13, $14, $15 area might start to get a little iffy. Okay. So having said that, let's go look at some indicators and what we need to see to start to be able to tell if ASI Fetch is going to do one of the most spectacular moves since last cycle. Is it going to be one of the top performing coins this cycle? It very well could be, because it was, from the bear market lows, not a whole lot of coins did a 6,700% move from the start of this bull run, right? Is your coin up 6,700% from low to high? If not, this one's, strength here will likely need the strength there. So I don't doubt that we could get in the realm of that area. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying, anything much above $15, $20, you're starting to reach here. So anybody that has a call, your favorite influencers that are calling for ASI Fetch much over $15 to $20, hopefully, I'd like to see some evidence on why they're backing that up, because I'm showing you evidence on why that might not be the case, right? Okay, so promised indicators. Let's go look at what I would be watching for to see Fetch ASI break out again on its spectacular moves. Well, we covered getting above the 200 EMA, right? We covered getting back up above the 618, around the $2 mark, 180 mark. But your RSI, you want to look at this. Our swing low kind of support line became resistance. So we need to get our strength back. Relative strength index is important for, right? If you want to be able to bench press a house, you're going to have some muscle, right? Same thing applies to our RSI, relative strength index. This compares your coin, whatever you're looking at, to the rest of the market. We're relatively weak here, 50. We've got to get back above here, at least flip this back. So I would say sometime between now, right, probably not going to be tomorrow, between, maybe the end of this year, early next, I would say, before we can really start to pick up those big moves again. And a lot of altcoins are in here, right? And certainly if this one's going to do it, many will lag behind this one, in my opinion. So I think this is still going to be one of the, at least in the top half of all altcoins, right? You would think maybe even better than that, because it did quite spectacular earlier in the year, right? We'll likely do spectacular later in this year or early next, right? Okay, so that's step one. Weekly chart, get us back above like 60 RSI. Okay. 2, case in point, is the Fisher transform. If you're not using this, you got to use this. So 2, let's end this damn downtrend, which now we're angled down. So not high hopes again for the next several weeks, maybe towards, again, the end of this year, right? Ideally, we'd want to, turn around at some point down here, flip this, take out this high, take out this high, right, from October, and just start to march up the stairs again, and maybe start to knock on this zone. Now, whenever we do get up in this area, whether that's March, April, May, June, July, I don't know when, right? I doubt we're going to just take a straight shoot there. But when we do, historically speaking, for ASI Fetch, that's generally a decent time to probably start taking some profit. So be warned, if we get Fisher transform above 3.5 or anywhere in that realm, it will be exciting. I would guess all-time highs for sure for Fetch when we get back up here again. Now, if it's around that $8, $9, $10 mark and we're up here, like, the writing is on the wall. I can lead you to the water. I can't make you drink, right? All right, so that's that. Do we have anything else? One more thing, if you're sticking around this long. The Mayer multiple. Very overlooked tool. Look at these spikes. See this red line? I didn't put that there, right? That's there by this indicator. When you get up here, it's heated, right? And it's, in my opinion, the best way to use this is not to, go running for the hills when you're above it. It's when you start to show a little bit of weakness, right? If you start to move back down a little bit, even here, you're like, that wasn't the top. It was a decent time to take some profits back then, right? So let's go look at that just really quick, right? It's down here, right? This is the spot we're looking at, right? So that was March 11th. So let's go look at March 11th for the Pico top. March 11th was right here. Did prices go a little bit higher? Yeah. What if you took half of your investment out right here at this close of 280? Because you saw the Mayer multiple topped out and started going down right here. 280. Would you be pretty happy? You'd probably kick yourself for a couple weeks because you're like, damn, now it's going to $17, right? When we start to go again, right? That's your emotions, right? And people feed off emotions, and that got trapped. But just within 3 weeks, you would have gotten out at a amazing level. Maybe you sold a little bit more at 380 or just left half of it in. Who cares? Look how much you would have been able to buy if you sold half of it at 280. Look how much more you could be able to buy down here at 80. Just by using, the Mayer multiple. And look how high that got. Damn. And it wasn't like the exact top, right? It's not going to call the exact top. It's a kind of a warning system. Sometimes you can get through red lights unscathed. But usually, the more times you play with fire, running red lights, I don't know where we're going with this, but it's not going to work out well forever. All right, so that's my 2 cents on ASI Fetch. Hopefully you learned something today. Let me know your comments below. What other coins you want to see something like this on? Updates. I appreciate you watching this long if you have. Join our Patreon group. We have a great bunch of people. That's where this video came from. We were talking about all kinds of stuff this morning. Got a request, several requests from our members in there. Making a YouTube video for them, for you, for everyone. All right. I'll see you on the next one. Quote and card of the day, if you want to hang around. Quote of the day. It's not enough to have a good mind. The main thing is to use it well and read sentences. All right. Card of the day. 4GT. Epic color combo. Black, charcoal, and racing red. Pretty cool. See if I got another picture. My favorite yellow color. Look at the active arrow. The wing comes up automatically when you go in 3000. And the rear. Probably the coolest, one of the coolest looking rear setups on a supercar. Let's zoom in. Absolutely amazing. If you ever seen one of these in person, this is all open, right? This is just, the aerodynamics on this is batshit crazy. This right here, there's a flow through. There's the flow through right here. You could just like jump through that if you were like a little kid would crawl through there. It's pretty amazing in person. They're tiny. If you're like, I'm 6'1". I feel like I could confidently jump over this if I had a running start. This is like 3.5 feet tall. You're literally, your butt is setting about 3 inches off the ground when you get in one of these. Have you ever seen the suspension system of one of these? It's magnetic. So like you press a button and it like pops up like instantly. It's pretty cool. Go check those videos out. If you're watching this long, maybe you're into cars and you want to see that. One of the greatest American cars ever, in my opinion. That's pretty stellar. All right. It should be for over $1 million, right?